Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you like the video, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Prologue. You wish to see me, Yamato-sama, a woman with long black hair hanging in front of her. She had on a caption cloak with 4 on the back. She was standing in front of a very old and tired-looking man. The man was sitting on a throne-like seat with both hands in front of him on a wood walking stick. Yes. It seems that a large amount of deaths have happened in the last hour. I want you to go with caption Yoruichi here to look into this. Yamato nods to the woman standing next to her. Where are we going, Yamato-sama? The woman with the black hair asks. The elemental nations. I would send another caption, but you know it better than anyone here. Caption Unohana. Caption Yamato told her. Unohana shifts just so slightly, only Yoruichi catches it.
Unohana only has been there once before for 10 years on a long-term mission to look in the vanishing Vasto Lord that had been happening there.
She remember when in time only one of them lived. Then a human foolishly split it into 9 beasts.
Just by being split made them weak. A different animal ate each one. A raccoon, a cat, a turtle, a monkey, a horse, a wolf, a beetle, one that somehow were eaten by a bull and an octopus at the same time, then lastly a fox. Out of all of them, the only one she ever saw was the fox. She still remember it. The Kyuubi is what made her come home since she no longer had a reason to stay there anymore. Will Yamato-sama. When do we leave? Unohana asked, still feeling uneasy about going back there. She did not tell anyone, but she lost too many things 5 years ago.
At once. The people you are looking for we believe are called the Uchihas, Yamato told them. Both Yoruichi and Unohana bow before leaving. So Unohana want to tell me why you look like you want to kill caption Yamato? Yoruichi asks as they make their way to the Senkaimon. Yoruichi-san, I would like if you do not ask about my personal life. Unohana tells Yoruichi, making said person eyes get big. Never in her years of knowing Unohana did Yoruichi see her act this way. Once at the Senkaimon, Unohana mumbles something, making it open. Unohana was the first to step out of the Senkaimon overlooking a village. Looking up at a cliff, she saw 4 faces carved into it. Looking at the one at the end, Unohana smiles. Yoruichi walks out a few seconds later to see Unohana looking down at the village. Yoruichi-san, can you go looking for the lost souls? There is a place I would like to visit first. And one last thing, the living here can see us, Unohana said before vanishing. Yoruichi let out a sigh before getting to work. Unohana reappear in front of a stone. Looking down at the stone, she only saw one of the 2 names she was looking for. She turns when she feels someone walking up behind her. Standing behind her was a small 5-year-old boy with blonde hair and blue eyes. Next to him was a woman with long flaming red hair. The woman looks at her in first shock, then in anger. The boy was just looking at her for the first time, trying to understand why she was dressed that way. You bitch, showing your face here. The woman yells at Unohana. Leave, Unohana. I do not know why you are here. But Minato would be greatly disappointed at you for leaving. Kushina, I'm here because of the death of the Uchiha clan, and to visit my husband and son's grave, Unohana told the woman. Your son is right here, you bitch. You left him to the village. If I did not know about him, he would have been dead within a week, Kushina kept yelling at Unohana. Oh, could he have died if his body was already destroyed by the ceiling? Tell me, Kushina, why do you make me relive this again? Unohana said as she pulls out her zanpakuto. Kushina pulls out 2 pieces of papers. Unohana, you may not believe me. However, you will believe these. If you still do not, please leave and never return here. I would also like to have them back, Kushina tell Unohana as she hands them to her. Unohana takes the papers to see they both are pictures of 2 small blonde boys. Unohana at first they both wear Minato when he was younger, but then notes one of the boys had whisker-like marks. No, it can't. They said he was dead. Why? Unohana cries as she drops her zanpakuto and falls to her knees. Then starts to repeat, I left him. I left him. I left him. Kushina slowly walks over to her. Kushina then sits down next to Unohana. I left him, was all Unohana could say. Still after 5 minutes. Kushina felt someone land near. By turning, she saw Yoruichi standing there looking pissed off. I am never going to send those stuck-up bastard back to the Soul Society. Hell, the only one who sounds like being someone to send is some woman named Makoto. Yoruichi groans, not seeing Unohana until after she finished her rant that went on for 5 minutes. Unohana, what happened to you? And who are you? She asked, pointing at Kushina. I'm Kushina. Kushina answers before helping Unohana up, and right now Unohana is having a mental breakdown, after finding she had the worst prank ever pull on her. If you could help me, we can take her back to the compound. Okay, Yoruichi says as she helped Kushina move Unohana. Within minutes all three of them were moving over the rooftops at high speed, not caring if they run over a few Anbu and other ninja on the way. Landing outside the compound gate, Kushina made a hand seal to open the gate for them. Once in, Yoruichi notes the ground was covered with plant life. Right behind the wall was an open field with bushes in random places. A few yards back was a forest with a trail leading through it. Yoruichi notes that the trees seemed to be overly large than they should have been. Once through the forest they came upon a large pond. No, make that a small lake with an island in the middle of it with a large house. Getting close to show the house was just sitting on the other side of the pond. I am not talking about the pond that sits between the USA and Great Britain. Half of the house was sitting over the water. You said this was a compound. So far I have only seen one house. Unless everyone else lives in the trees, Yoruichi states more than ask. They do, Unohana moans, speaking for the first time in 10 minutes. This is the Senju compound. Why are we here? Because Tsunade-san wanted her grandson close to her to keep him safe, Kushina said as they cross a small wooden walkway over the pond. Yoruichi now notes the house had what looked like a greenhouse running all around it. The house was 2 stories tall. The second story was painted a cage red. On one part of the roof was a widow walk. Walking into the greenhouse, Yoruichi let out a gasp, seeing all different kinds of flower and herb growing. She spots a few that she knew of, but most of them she had never seen before. Who takes care of all of this? Yoruichi asks, still in shock. Naruto-kun. He loved to garden. It took him a year to get it like this, but he really does have a green thumb, Kushina said with a hit of pride in her voice. Kushina lead them into a sitting area. The area looked larger than Yoruichi family meeting room. The room took up almost half of the first floor, not counting the greenhouse. Looking to her right, Yoruichi spots what looks like an eating room of some kind. Kushina lays Unohana down on one of the couches in the room. Then leaves, saying she was going to find everyone. Yoruichi, who never likes sitting or standing, for that matter, still for longer than need, starts to walk around. She soon found herself out in the greenhouse again. Only this time she saw flowers everywhere. Sitting in the middle of the room was a woman with blonde hair who looks like in her 20s, reading to a small boy who was sitting in her lap. The boy was holding a small fox with what looked like 9 tails coming out of it in his hand. Near them was what looks like a small teapot. Staying back, Yoruichi watched them. You can join us if you wish, the woman said without looking at Yoruichi. Yoruichi eyes got big at this. If you wonder, I knew you were there as soon as you came into the room. Now please take a seat. Yoruichi took a seat across from the two. Now being closer, she notes they both had the same hair color. However, the eyes and the face were different. The woman had honey color eyes where the boy had blue. He also had what looked like whisker marks on each cheek. Naru-chan, is you going to say hi to our guests? The woman asks the boy in her lap. I was going to Ba-chan, the boy says with a playful pout, looking up at the woman. Looking back at Yoruichi, he gives her a fox-like grin. Hi, I'm Naruto, the next Hokage, and she's my Ba-chan. Nice to meet you, Naruto-kun, and you too, Ba-chan. I am Yoruichi Shihoin, captain of Squad 2, Yoruichi says with a playful smile. The older woman smiles softly. I'm Tsunade Senju. Now do you know the captain of Squad 4 by chance? Yes, she came with me. Why? Yoruichi asks. Naru-chan, go and play outside for me, Tsunade asked Naruto, who pouts. But Ba-chan, Kushina Obasan was supposed to take me to see Oto-san tonight, Naruto whines at her. I will take you tomorrow, okay, now go, Tsunade said, giving Naruto a small push. Naruto mumbles something before leaving. Yoruichi notes Tsunade seemed to let out a breath as soon as he was gone before taking a pill of some kind. Yoruichi eyes narrow at this. You want him out so he would not see you like this, Yoruichi states. Yes, I do not need him to believe he is going to lose another family member. He has lost too many already. In addition, here I am the greatest medic alive and I cannot find a cure to the poison. The only one who probably cures me would be his mother. That is why I ask, Tsunade says, showing pain on her face for the first time. Yoruichi also notes she seemed pale for her age. What poison you? Yoruichi asks. An old teammate when he found out I was returning here. He tried to get me to join. You probably can tell me what happened next if you think about it, Tsunade says with a sad smile. But I get to be with my grandson for what I hope is a few more years. How does the poison work, Tsunade-san? Unohana asks, showing up herself looking pale and tired. It attacks the music and bone cells first. That is why I am here. I took the guest bedroom on this floor just so I did not need to move around that much. Even then it hurts to move a lot. It slowly attacks the lungs and heart. Other than that we could not find anything else about it, Tsunade told Unohana as she sat down next to her. Did you think of checking to see if it was two different poisons? Unohana asks as she runs a keto healing spell. Tsunade smacks her forehead. I should have thought of that. It seems I could make you a cure in a few minutes if the herbs and the blue water slugs live in the pond outside, Unohana says. The slugs live in the pond, in fact the fountain has them in it, in the rare flower part of the greenhouse, Tsunade said as she tries to get up only to be stopped by Unohana. You stay put, no moving from you. Yoruichi, I need you go and get me 3 of them alive, so put them in a glass bowl with water from the fountain in it. Unohana tells them as she moved to the door to go outside. How far from the house are they? Just find your son, he plays by them, Tsunade tells her, not wanting to tell her she could find them in the herb part of the greenhouse.
Unohana nods her head before Shunpo to find the herbs. After 2 steps she find Naruto playing with a stuffed fox with 9 tails. Unohana takes a sharp breath seeing her son again. She knew the herbs were here since she saw her son playing right next to them. She then notes he was not playing in them. Taking a deep breath, Unohana forces herself to relax before walking over to her son.
Hello, Unohana says gently once she was next to her son. Naruto looks up at her before grinning. Hi, I'm Naruto, the next Hokage, he said with a fox-like grin on his face. Nice to meet you, Naruto-kun. I'm Unohana. Do you think you help me find some herbs? Unohana asks. What herbs are you looking for? Naruto asks, wondering why she was out here looking for them. I need to find yarrow, comfrey, and mullein, Unohana says, as she kneels down next to Naruto. I know those. You use them to create antidote for weapon poisons. But why do you need them? Naruto asks, shocking Unohana on how much he knew about healing. A friend of mine got poison in a fight with 2 different poisons and I need them to cure her, Unohana said, not telling her son one of his caregivers was the person poison. They all grow close by, Naruto says, pointing to a small planting patch. Can I help you pick them and make the antidote? Sure, I would like the help, Naruto-kun, Unohana says with a soft smile, hoping to get to know her son some more. Walking over, Unohana notes Naruto kept the fox close to him. Who's your friend, Naruto-kun? This Kyuubi-chan. Ero Sanin is trying to make a seal so Kyuubi-ne-chan and me can use this Kyuubi-chan to move around and out here. Will you be my friend? Naruto asks suddenly. Unohana misses a step before answering. I'm sorry, Naruto-kun, but right now I could not be your friend, but I would like to. Oh, okay. Naruto says, looking down before smiling again. I bet your friend is really strong if she could fight 2 different poisons at once. She is. In fact, I would call her my equal at times, Unohana tells her son. Can I meet her? Naruto asks once again, not knowing he already knew the person. Maybe later, Unohana trying to wiggle out of it. Unohana-san, do you have any children my age? Naruto asks. Unohana does not say anything for a minute, making Naruto worry he said something wrong. I have a son that's your age. But I have not seen him since he was born because of unseen problems, Unohana tells him finally. Oh, I hope you get to meet him someday. I wish knew my Ka-chan. She vanishes shortly after I was born. What was your son's name? Naruto asks, looking up at Unohana, who finally broke down again. Naruto, I'm so sorry. Unohana cries before pulling him into a tight hug. Naruto stiffens before hugging Unohana back, not sure why she was apologizing or hugging him, but he liked it. It was like when Tsunade or Kushina hug him but nicer. He thought it was like a mother hugging him. He was brought out of his moose when Unohana said sorry again. I'm so sorry for leaving you. I did not know, please forgive me, Unohana begs as he holds her son like a lifeline. Ka-chan, Naruto inquires. Yes, I am you, Ka-chan. Naruto. I am so sorry, I thought you had died that night. I was told you died with your father. Please let me make it up to you, Unohana says quietly. I forgive you, Ka-chan, Naruto says happily, as he returns the hug with his own tear, only his weir of joy. Time skip 120 years. Let me get this straight, you want me to help a bunch of teens break into the Soul Society, free a person on death row and get back here? A small kid asks a person with a bucket hat and fan. What's about the most of it? The man says as he opens his fan.
The kid sits there for a minute before whacking the man on the head with a large stick. Are you crazy? I am not going to Ka-chan and Ba-chan or Nei-san in trouble just for some brat's crush, the kid yells at him before whacking him again just for fun.
What if I came along? Asks a masculine voice coming from a black cat. The kid stops in mid-swing, think about before answering, only if hold you the whole time and cuddle with you. No choking, the cat tells him. Yay, the kid yells before picking up that cat and hugging it. Old man, you got a deal. When do we leave? In an hour, the man says with a grin before being hit again with the stick. You always wait till the last minute, old man, the kid says before running off with the cat to wait on the others to show up. 1 hour later, 4 teens stood in a large room with what looked like a sky overhead. The first one was dressed in a white shitage, black kasode, and a black hakama. Next to him was a tall Mexican in a white tank top and black pants. The last male teen was dressed all in white with a short cape on his back. The last teen had on a pink shirt with white pants. In her hair she had 2 flower clips. All other we're looking at the man with the bucket hat. You said we're going to have 2 others come with us. Where are they? The kid in black asks. Right here, Strawberry-chan, a voice says from behind them. Turning, they see a kid holding a backcat. The kid had on black pants and an orange shirt. Hey, you're that kid is always hanging out by the school, Strawberry-chan yells as he points at him. Kurosaki-kun, you know Naruto-kun too? The female teen asks. Wait, you know him, Orihime? The teen asks, turning back around to look at his friend. Hi. We stay in the same apartment building, Orihime tells him. Turning back to the old man, Strawberry-chan asks him, wait, you telling me this brat is going to help us out in the second person not here yet? I'm right here, Ichigo, the cat tells him. Orihime, Strawberry-chan is being mean to me, the kid as he hugs Orihime leg. Orihime picks him up, telling him Ichigo was only worried about him getting hurt. But I told you, Oni-chan, I can't get hurt or Ka-chan and Ba-chan will get angry and mean person goes bye-bye, the kid says with a fox-like grin. Now let's get moving, Urahara says with a small clap. Naruto somehow got Yoruichi back in his arms again and now was on the tall Mexican named Chad, who for some reason seemed to be smiling lightly at this. Orihime knew why, because she smiled like that every time she was holding Naruto. You could not help but to smile. Standing next to a large white doorway, Urahara began to explain to them how they would break into the Soul Society. After finishing, he opens the doorway and sending them through. Naruto jumps off Chad and runs through the portal laughing. Last one there is it, Naruto calls out as he runs away from them. They all made it thanks to Orihime quick thinking. Ichigo stood looking at a large gate that Jidanbo, who began to shout about how Ichigo would not cross or make it pass him alive. Ha, 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 you Strawberry will not make it across, no one has ever made it past since I became gate guardian, Jidanbo states with pride. Pulling out an axe, Jidanbo slams it into the ground, making a wall blocking everyone from him and Ichigo. Yoruichi and Naruto, who still had her in his arms, seem unsurprised by this. As Ichigo defend himself from the rain of axe blows, Naruto put Yoruichi down and walk away, saying he would be back. Ichigo had blocked the 10th swing from this giant. Jidanbo reaches into his cloak and pulls out another axe. Die! Jidanbo cries out as he brings his axes down. Ichigo meets with his own attack, swing his oversized kitchen knife, destroying both axes. Jidanbo hops back to his feet, claiming he tripped. Raising what is left of his axes, he notes both of them have been destroyed. No, my axes, Jidanbo cries, falling down, throwing a fit. Sorry about that, I probably could have just broke one of them. Ichigo tries to apologize. You are a very honorable man. I will open the gate for you, Jidanbo says with tears of joy now. Squatting down, Jidanbo lifts up the great gate only to start shaking in fear for who stood on the other side. Ichigo walks around to see who it is. Standing there was a man with a fox-like grin, silver to lime green hair. He had on a Squad 3 cloak. Jidanbo, what are you doing? Do you not know the rules? If you lose then you die. Shoot to kill, the man says as his Zanpakuto shoot forward to his Jidanbo if Ichigo had not got in the way to block it. This sends both of them flying back out of the gate. Ichigo looks back at the closing gate to see the man wave, bye-bye. Wham, the gate was close. You fool, trying to take on a caption level. That was Jin Ichimaru. You are lucky to be breathing, Yoruichi says after scratching Ichigo's face with her claws. Hey, Ichigo yells. Come now, we need to find a place to sleep, Yoruichi tells the small group of teens as she walks away. Chapter 2. Let's get the party started. The teens were sitting down around a small fire with a teapot over it. They had just found Naruto 2 hours ago. Flashback. Yoruichi was leading the way hoping to find Naruto before nightfall. Yoruichi spots a ramen stand. Let's check the food stand. If Naruto is anywhere he will be there, Yoruichi says, walking into the stand to see Naruto sitting on a stool talking to the owner. Come on, old lady. You got to know where it's at, I left it with you, Naruto says, looking dead in the eye of the owner of the stand. The owner looks right back at him before speaking. I sold it. Need the money, she says with a grin. Then you could have just asked Ka-chan or Ba-chan, Naruto says, now glaring daggers at her. Shaking her head, missing up her brown hair, the owner just smiles before leaning down to pick up something. You know, Naruto-kun, you could have just asked nicely, a man says, as he places a bowl of ramen in front of Naruto. He had on the same white shirt and white pants as the owner. His black hair comes just to above his dark eyes. I could, but I told you, Itachi. I may not have time to ask nicely, Naruto says before digging into his ramen. Yoruichi hops up onto the stool next to his. You know, Naruto, it took us 2 hours to find you. But I was hungry, Naruto whines, putting his mask back on. Then why did you not say so? Yoruichi says as she swipes his face with her claws. Ah, Yoruichi, why did you do that? Naruto says as he cries and holds his face. Because you need to learn not to run off, Naruto-kun, the owner says as she stands back up with a long box. The box was 7 feet long, about a foot across and tall. On it were 3 different seals, each one different than the last. It had also 4 locks that took different keys to each. Each was a custom-made key, so not to be copied. The box itself was made out of sakura wood. Engraved on it was a dragon inactive. Thank you, Ayame-ne-chan, Naruto says as he tries to pick up the box. Ichigo picks it up for him, wanting to find a place to stay and plan their next move. Come on, let's go, Ichigo says as he leaves, not caring. Naruto waves bye before following. Yoruichi bows her head before leaping onto Naruto's head. How many more do you need to get? Yoruichi whispers, not wanting to be overheard. Naruto holds up one finger, then he makes a circle on his chest telling her where it at. End of flashback. Naruto was sleeping in the corner of the room. Yoruichi was able to sneak away to talk to the teens about their next move. Hey Yoruichi, why does Naruto want that big box? Ichigo asks. Wonder was in the box that Naruto was trying to pick up earlier. The box of his holds his Zanpakuto. Well, one of them. He has 3 of them. Right now, he has 2. The one in the box and the other I'm not sure where it's at. Yoruichi was saved by a large man flying through the wall and hitting Ichigo. Hey old man, what are you doing with dirt? The man yells at the teen's host. Who the hell are you? Ichigo yells back. I'm the #1 hater of all Soul Reapers. And my name is Ganju, Ganju yells. Now get lost before I beat you up. Bring it, pig boy, Ichigo yells back as he reaches for his sword on his back. Ganju just smiles before being hit straight in the face. Standing in his place was a very angry and sleepy Naruto holding a large katana in his right hand, his spiritual pressure and chakra flaring, taking the form of a large red fox with 9 tails flailing behind it. Yoruichi's eyes widen before leaping onto his head. Naruto, it's fine, let the strawberry deal with him and go back to sleep, Yoruichi says in a panic. It seemed to work since Naruto sways a little before lumbering back to his bed to fall asleep again. Ganju comes running back in to see Naruto slowly making his way back. I will let you off this time, Soul Reaper. But I will kill you tomorrow at noon, Ganju says as he jumps onto a large pig and rides away. What was that about? Orihime asks, wondering like everyone else what happened. I'm not sure, Uryu says as he pushes up his glasses. Chad grunts. Yoruichi walks back over to them before telling, well, I believe we all need some sleep, and then walks back over to Naruto and curl up into a ball, falling asleep on his stomach. Seeing nothing better to do, the teens all go find a place to sleep. Next day. What do you mean you're not coming? Uryu asks Ichigo, who was sitting with his back to them. I am not leaving. If he comes back he is going to think I'm a chicken, Ichigo says with his arms crossed. Uryu, we are ready, Orihime says, peeking, seeing what was taking so long. Ichigo will not come, Uryu tells her, only to see the door be thrown open by Naruto, who now was holding his katana, with Yoruichi on his head again. Come on, Strawberry-chan. I want to get going. Thanks to you we got to take the long way, and so get your ass into gear, Naruto says as his voice changes from childish to every adult-like, shocking everyone other than Yoruichi. Walking over, Naruto grabs Ichigo by the hair and starts to drag him out of the room, not caring he was hurting him. Orihime look worried about Ichigo while Chad and Uryu look impassive. Once outside, Ichigo finally settle on, if only for his hair greater good, to come along. They made their way out of the village. Naruto seemed to turn back into his kid-like self to chase after a butterfly red. It seems to stay out of his reach every time he went to grab it. Finally, Naruto trips over a rote and somehow lands on his back. The butterfly lands on his nose, making him giggle. Yoruichi slowly walks over to him, landing on his stomach. The sooner we find Kukaku, the sooner you can go and play, Yoruichi tells him as he sits up watching the butterfly leave. Okay, but something feels wrong. When we get in I am going to go see Ka-chan and Ba-chan, Naruto says as he stands up, picking Yoruichi up and holding her in his arms. The teens stood up waiting for him. Seeing this, Naruto runs up to them smiling. Orihime smiles back before Uryu starts leading them again. Naruto smiles, drops for a minute, then returns a minute later. Elsewhere, 1 minute before, a red butterfly lands on a branch to rest for a minute. Soon a throwing knife rips it in half. Stepping out from behind a tree steps Naruto. Seeing the butterfly still trying to flap its wings a few times before stopping. Stepping closer, Naruto notes smoke rising from it. Aizen, you should know better than to try and outsmart a fox, Naruto says before popping. Back with the group and the real Naruto. It seems he is using human arms to hold it up, Yoruichi state the obvious. They were looking at a small house with an overly large chimney. In front of it were 2 arms holding up a banner stating who live here. Walking up to the house, 2 large men land in front of the group. Both had red hats with white tassels on it. The one on the left had on a white shirt while his friend had on a yellow shirt. What weird looking people, the one on the left says. One looks like a Shinigami, the other one states. We shall not let you pass, the first one says. Ichigo reaches for his sword on his back when Yoruichi leaps down from Naruto's arms. Yoruichi slowly walks to the front of the group. Yoruichi Dono, the man states more than asks. We came to see Kukaku, Yoruichi tells them. We need help.
Naruto seems to be standing behind Chad, not wanting to be seen. Then follow me, the man in the yellow shirt tells them. With Yoruichi in the lead following the man, he leads them down a long set of stairs. At the bottom, they come to a long hallway. Stopping outside a door, the man kneels down on one knee.
Kukaku Dono, Yoruichi Dono, and friends are here to see you, the man says through the door. Okay, let them in, a female voice replies. The man grabs the edge of the door and pulls it open, always staying out of sight. Yoruichi slowly saunters into the room. In the room, lying about, was a woman with black hair. Over her hair were bandages. She also has a red robe showing some of her bosom. She also is wearing a white skirt. Where her right arm should be is a prosthetic arm. In her left hand is a smoking pipe.
She watches as they all walk in and kneel down waiting. Yoruichi sitting on her hunches a few feet ahead of them. Naruto was still behind Chad, who still hid him from view. Nodding his head, Naruto climbs up Chad back, then makes a leap at the woman lounging in the pillows, yelling Kukaku Obasan, who only smiles at this. Right before he can tackle her, she grabs him out of the air.
Hello Naruto-kun, Kukaku says as she gives Naruto a hug, which he returns. Hi Kukaku Obasan, Naruto chirps back as she places him in her lap. Well Yoruichi, I hope this is not why you brought all these people, just to bring my nephew to see me, the woman says with a large grin plastered to her face. He is only tagging along and will be helping us, Yoruichi says with a small bow of the head. We need your help. Yes, that's usually the case when you seek me out. Is it dangerous? Kukaku sighs before asking, as she plays with Naruto. Yes, Yoruichi enlightens her. Been a while since we've talked like this, my friend. Lucky for you, I enjoy danger, Kukaku says looking back up at them. I trust you and Naruto-kun. However, I do not trust them. Points at Ichigo, Chad, Orihime, and Uryu. So I'm going to send one of my own men along with you. Every will, Yoruichi replies with a nod of the head. Kukaku stands up and puts Naruto where she was sitting a few minutes ago. Walking over to a sliding wall, Kukaku gets ready to open it. You ready? She asks. Not waiting for a reply, she pulls open the door to relieve Ganju kneeling on the other side. You. Both Ichigo, Ganju and Naruto yell at one another. You know one another already, Kukaku deadpans. Ichigo and Ganju both jump at one another, starting a fistfight. Kukaku watches on with boredom. Naruto somehow had got Yoruichi back in his arms again without anyone seeing him do it. Not that Yoruichi minds, she loved the loving. It is petting or rubbing of the ears and belly, you sick perverse people. Yes, I know who you are, Naruto gave her. Orihime looked worried that Ichigo would get hurt. Naruto notes this and starts to make a plan to get them together. Soon all was seen was a cloud of dust moving around the room, showing everyone where the fight was moving. Kukaku pulls her pipe from her mouth as the two roll near her, making her drop her pipe. Getting ready to reach down to pick it up, someone's foot, step on it, breaking it. Naruto places his hand over Yoruichi's eyes and his own, knowing what was coming next. Wham! Wham! Naruto removed his hands from Yoruichi and his own eyes to see Ichigo and Ganju both lying on the floor being yelled at by Kukaku. That was my favor's pipe, you punks, Kukaku yells. But sis, he started it. Ganju tries to start only for Kukaku slam her foot into the back of his head, making him faceplant. Ichigo was slowly getting up when Kukaku's arm somehow stretches across the room to grab his head. Yo punk. If you got a problem with the way I do things around here, get lost, got that? Kukaku says as she slams Ichigo into the floor. Yay go Kukaku Obasan. Naruto cheers, knowing the move she just used since he had been on the receiving end of it a few times. Everyone turned to look at him if he was crazy. Okay, listen up and follow me, Kukaku tells them as she start to walk out of the room, as the teens plus Ganju and Yoruichi follow her. Naruto looks around the room before running off to find something to do. Walking around the house, Naruto finds himself back outside looking at the two men that met them earlier work on a crank of some kind. Feeling the ground move, Naruto looks down to see the chimney start to break and turn into a large black cannon. Naruto leaps back and watches with awe as the cannon rise from the ground before stopping. Standing at the base of the cannon was Kukaku and crew. This is no time for jokes. I do not know what type of technician you are, but shoot us out of that thing. It's impossible. Uryu yells at Kukaku, who throws a weird ball-like object at him, bouncing it off his head into Ichigo's hands. What's this? Ichigo asks, looking at the ball. It's a spirit core, Kukaku tells him as she points at it. Hold on to it and give it your spiritual energy. Ichigo looks at it. Oi, how do I give it spiritual energy? Huh, Kukaku says in shock. Ganju, show him. Ganju once again began to fight over the core. Naruto, watching, thought it was some sort of a game, so running up he grabs it right of Ichigo's hands. Yay, I am winning, Naruto says as he runs around with the core over his head, making Ichigo and Ganju both give chase after him. Kukaku watches this, wondering how long Ichigo and Ganju would last. An hour later, Ganju now was crawling after Naruto. Ichigo was still running after him, still not sure how he was able to stay so far ahead of him. Coming up to the 3-hour mark, Ichigo was now laying on his back, eagle spread. Naruto was standing over him with the core still in hand, looking down at him. "Come on, Strawberry-chan, I still want to play," Naruto whines. Ganju was slowly getting before trying to sneak up on Naruto. Lunging, Naruto sidesteps it, making Ganju crash into Ichigo. Kukaku, growing tired of the game, walks over to the three. "Naruto-kun, can I have the core please?" Kukaku asks, not wanting to hit him over the head and suffer the wrath of his mother and grandmother. "Okay, but you got to play with me later," Naruto says as he hands her the core, then runs off to find something to do. How? Pant. Can. Pant. That. Pant. Kid. Pant. Have. Pant. So. Pant. Much. Pant. Energy. Pant. Ichigo asks as he tries to breathe normally once again. "Because what happened the day he was born?" Kukaku whispers to herself and Yoruichi, who was on her head. "Okay, you forbrot's time to train, since Ganju here could not show you, I will." Yoruichi hopes to the ground and walks away as Kukaku begins to channel her spiritual energy into the core, making a bubble form around her. "Now you know what it looks like, you should be able to make one. Take them away." Kukaku turns her back to them as the two large men that they met when they got to her house carry them off. Looking up at the cannon, Kukaku lets out a sigh. Turning around, she finds a person in his early 20s. "This was not the sort of play I thought you had in mind," Kukaku says with a playful grin. Boom. Kukaku comes running down the hallway to the training room in her house. The teens follow behind her, wondering why she was wet and had flaming red hair now. Coming up to the room, Kukaku notes Ganju trying to back up into a wall. "What happened?" Kukaku yells at him as they get closer. "I did not know this would happen. I just told him my secret way of doing it," Ganju says in fear, still looking into the room. Kukaku looks into the room. In the room, Ichigo was pushing all his energy into the core, making a large bubble around him. "Hey idiot. What do you think you're doing? Focus and refine your energy already," Kukaku shouts as soap suds fall of her face. Ichigo does as he says, making his entire friends gasp at this. "I did it." Oh right, Kurasuki-kun," Orihime says happily, knowing Ichigo would not be left behind. "Yeah. Hey Kukaku-san, why is your hair red now?" Ichigo asks, not noticing the crack starting to form. "You idiot. Don't lose concentration," Kukaku yells, notes a large crack forming on the bubble before everyone else. "Huh. Is all that Ichigo got out before boom. One beating of Ichigo and Ganju later. You have your work cut out for you," Kukaku says to Naruto, who was petting Yoruichi as he sat in Kukaku's lap again. "I concur. However, it also seems that Ichigo has grown stronger," Yoruichi says as she purrs. "Hey Obasan, I'm sorry for dyeing your hair red," Naruto says finally. "It's fine, Naruto-kun, I should have known better than to turn my back on you when you're in the bath. Anyway, are you ready to go tomorrow, since we are getting up early?" Kukaku checks. "Hi. I made sure to pack everything I need after I got out of the bath and got dressed. I even pack extra squeaky toys for Yoruichi-chan." As soon as he finishes, Yoruichi cuts his face with her claws again. "I do not need any squeaky toys, Naruto," Yoruichi says with a cat-like grin. "But I pack it the mouse one for you," Naruto says with a pout. "Mouse one?" Yoruichi asks. "Yay, the one that you wind up before letting go," Naruto says happily, hoping he got something she like. "Okay, you can keep that one. But the other ones bust go or else," Yoruichi says, looking at Naruto with a glare. Kukaku chuckles at this, seeing how well Yoruichi had Naruto wrap around her paw. "Okay," Naruto says, not wanting to get scratched again. "Since you need to take care of that, Naruto-kun, go do it since it is bedtime," Kukaku says. "While you're doing that, Yoruichi Dono will make sure the brats are in bed." "Okay Obasan," Naruto says as he does as he is told. Kukaku gets up to pull out the bedroll. Once Naruto finishes, Kukaku picks him up, lays down with him, knowing Yoruichi would take a long time getting the brats, as she called them, to bed. Naruto snuggles into her before starting to breath slowly, telling Kukaku he was asleep. Making sure Kukaku goes to sleep as well, knowing Yoruichi would just find a place to lay on top of them. Before falling off to sleep, Kukaku hears Naruto mumble something. "Night, Kushina Obasan." Kissing the top of his head, Kukaku feels a small sharp pain, knowing what happened to Kushina. "Night, Naruto-kun." I bet right half of you know what happened to Kushina and the other half are trying to find a way get me to tell you. If you do know, please do not say. It will all be explained. Next chapter I will have 2 fights and Naruto meeting up with Unohana and his Ba-chan and a few other members of his family. In addition, the caption and vice caption meeting will be there as well. If you want any characters to be, tell me now. The only ones who will not be there are Jiraiya, Shizune, Minato, the 3rd Hokage, Kakashi, Sakura, and Sasuke. A few of them I made plans for what happened to them. The others we can live without them since I do not like them. Cough traders cough anyways, please leave a review and do not tell if you think you know what happened to Kushina or else. Chapter 3. Captains, Hollows, and Mother Hens. Oh my. Jin stands in front of a large doorway for a minute before walking in. As the door opens an old voice could be heard. Everyone here. All right then. We will now begin with the subject of our meeting, Ichimaru Jin, captain of 3rd Division. What's going on? Jin asks with that fox-like smile as he makes his way to the place he stands at. Is it really that bad to need to call everyone here? Captains from around the Soul Society, did you really come back here just for me? Jin then notes one of the captains missing. It seemed the 13th captain is not here. Has something happened to him? A dark-skinned man with black braided hair wearing glass answers, he is excused for injuries. He's not healed yet. Well, good luck to him, Jin says, looks down for a minute. Stop wasting time. Nobody came all the way back here for chit-chat, another captain tells Jin. This one stood 3rd tallest captain. He would be the tallest if you counted on his spike hair. He had a scar going down the left side his face over the eye. A patch covered his right eye. It's time to deal with what you did. You did not kill your target, another captain this time with white and black face paint and a weird-looking hat told him. I thought I did, Jin replies. This starts up a whole argument until the head captain yells. Before he could go on, alarms start to go off all through at the Soul Society. All the captains look worried and began to make their way back to their squads. 4th squad captain stays for a minute. You know captain if he is with them. My squad and I will not aid you. I also feel a few other captains will not join you either to stop him, Unohana tells him softly.
I understand. I ask you just help those who need it. If it comes down to it I will fight him, the head captain tells her. Unohana smiles before leaving. On her way, she sees a blonde woman with a vice captain armband on her right arm. The woman was leaning up against a wall waiting.
So Captain Unohana, what do we do now? The woman asks, as she looks around with her brown eyes. Tsunade-san, how many times does I tell you not to call me that? Unohana says to her friend, mother-in-law, and vice captain. Fine. So what side are we going to take if your son and my grandson show up? Tsunade asks. Yamamoto just asked us to heal those who need help. That way we can aid Naruto-chan but stay within the laws, Unohana says as they walk back to the squad area. I am worried what will happen if he release her thou. I thought he told you, Tsunade starts. He sent her to spy on a few hollows that seem dangers close in becoming Vasto Lord. I think he does not want to deal with any or have her just make sure they understand who is top dog or fox. Then we do not need to worry about her then. But it still bothers me, the Jin was there. Knowing Naruto-chan, he would make sure everyone go out okay. But they will have trouble getting in here again. Never mind, they seem to be here, Unohana says looking up at the sky. Tsunade looks up as well, seeing a large cannonball strike the shield covering them. So it does. I wonder how his trip went. Do you think he turned into a pervert? Tsunade asks with a smile. No, we have stayed here too long, Unohana says before heading inside to get ready for the injuries to start rolling in. Tsunade follows her in before getting to work as well. All over the Soul Society everyone was looking up at the large ball of energy hit the shield. Many gasped in fear and shocks as it kept pushing against it, soon passing through the shield. With the teens, we are not falling, Ichigo says. All of them hang in midair. Everyone grab one other, the tornado is about to come, Yoruichi yells at them. Naruto, who somehow gets Yoruichi once again in his arms even though he was the farthest away from her. Soon a large vortex of doom forms. Everyone starts grabbing onto one other. Naruto, seeing that Yoruichi would need to keep an eye on everyone, throws her at Chad, who throw Orihime, but thanks of slip up with Yoruichi landing on his shoulder. Orihime goes flying at Naruto instead of Uryu. Uryu for himself is the first to be pulled in, followed by Yoruichi and Chad. Ichigo and Ganju go next with Naruto and Orihime. Naruto, using his powers, gives him and Orihime a better chance at getting close to Squad 4 before anyone finds them. Orihime grabs Naruto before summoning her powers to make a large triangle-shaped shield for them to land on right over Squad 4's officers' quarters. Orihime is knocking out by the blow, making Naruto carry her inside. Placing her in the captain's room, Naruto goes running off. Reaching the hospitable, Naruto starts sneaking around. Finds a changing room. Looking in, he thanks Kami it was the men's. Looking through the lockers, he finds some clothing. Making a weird hand sign, Naruto is covered in a cloud of white smoke. Once the smoke clears, in the place Naruto stood was a man about 20 or so. He had the same whisker-like marks as Naruto, but his hair was much longer, and had a few red highlights. His hair reaches the base of his spine. Pulling out a small ribbon, the man ties his hair in a lost ponytail. Looking around, the man slips on the clothing he stole, making him look like any other Soul Reaper running around. Picking up the katana, the man ties it to his left hip before leaving the changing room. Walking down the hall, the man stops in front of a paper sliding door. Looking down at either end of the hall, the man opens it and walks in. Unohana hears the door to her office open and looks up to see the blonde hair man. She smiles at him as she stands up. I was wondering when you would show up, Naru-chan. Sorry, but we had to take the long way since Strawberry-chan rush in, not thinking. Naruto says, hugging his mother. Anyway, his girlfriend is out cold in your room, since I thought it would be the safe place to hide her. Unohana leans up a little to kiss him on the cheek. That's fine, I will send the third seat to check up on her. That's Isane One-ichan. You're next, lieutenant, if Ba-chan ever takes the captain test. Naruto says as they sit down, in case someone walks in to make it look like a meeting, but we both know she will never do that. Yes, we do, and very good on remembering who Isane-san was, Unohana says with a soft smile. Anyway, did you enjoy your trip? Yes, I was able to meet up with Yoruichi and the old man. Though they did have to blackmail me to get me to join Strawberry-chan. Other than that, I enjoyed it, Naruto says with a large smile. Good, Tsunade is working in 4 right now, go give her a hand. I will go take care of our guests, Unohana tells him as they both stands up. Oh, your room is still empty if you need a place to stay. It for Orihime-san. Naruto tells her, knowing his room only a few people could get into. I will stay as a kid until need be. But I will stop by Ba-chan first. Still having the nightmare then, Unohana asks. Yes, is all Naruto say before leaving. Unohana sighs before going to check on their guests. On her way, she stops at the head desk used to check non-emergency in. Isane-san, can you come with me? Isane looks up from her look. Her silver hair hang to the side into long braid. The rest of her hair was in a mess. She had 2 long red tube earrings, one hanging from each ear. Standing up, she stood over Unohana by a good foot. Hi, Unohana-sama. Good, please, this way, Unohana tells her before leading her back to the officer quarters. Once there, Unohana heads straight for her room. Opening the door, she finds Orihime still sound asleep on her bed. Isane-san, I need you to take care of our guests here. No one is to know about her other than Tsunade-san and me, Unohana tells her with her scary smile. Moving over to her bed, Unohana runs a few scans on Orihime to see if anything was wrong or just knock out. Seeing nothing wrong, Unohana places her hand on the girl's forehead. After a minute, Orihime's eyes start to flutter open. Looking around, she sees 2 women near her. I am glad you are awake, Orihime-san, Unohana says. First, bring the girl's eyes back onto her. This is a nice room for a prison, Orihime says, making Isane face plant to the floor. Unohana smiles at this. This is my room. I am Unohana Restu Namikaze. This here is Isane Katetsu. She will be keeping an eye on you, Unohana tells her with one of her scary smiles, making sure she understands. Orihime's sweat drops at this as she nods her head dumbly. Her face changes after a minute as she hits her fist into her open palm of her left. Do you know a Naruto Restu Namikaze? Orihime asks. Yes, he is my son, Unohana says before leaving. Orihime looks at Isane with her jaw on the floor, making Isane giggle a little. Slowly coming back to her senses, she lets out a loud yell. Once she calmed down, Isane smiles shyly at her. Is there anything I could get you to eat, Orihime-san? No, I'm good, Orihime says before her stomach lets out a loud growl. This way, Orihime-san, let's get you something to wear as well to keep you from standing out. As they walk down the hallway another way, he has 2 zanpakuto hanging from his hip. The man stops in front of a door with a paper seal on it. Orihime stops to watch him, wondering why he did not say anything to her. Biting his thumb, the man runs his thumb down the seal, leaving a small trail of blood behind. Turning, he walks past Orihime and Isane, again nodding as Isane before leaving. Orihime then notes that he was just a little bit taller than Isane. Isane-san, who was that? Orihime asks, wondering what happened. That was Naruto. I wonder why he removes the safety seal on his room. Isane mumbles the last part. That can't be Naruto-kun. Naruto-kun is only 5 years old. He looks 20, Orihime says as she starts to go into one of her rants. How that person could have been an alien robot using a hologram to hide itself as an older Naruto. Isane was tempted to tell Orihime that Naruto hides himself as a 5-year-old or some young-age child because great things come in small packages. There was another reason, but she would not tell anyone unless Naruto told them first, even on pain of death. Everyone who knew him would die first before telling anyone about him. She remembered the 12th squad captain trying to find a file on Naruto since his name came up on 2 different captains' files. He even tried using truth potion on her since he figured she would be the easiest to break. Isane almost bite her tongue off if Unohana had not shown up with head captain Yamamoto and Tsunade. She later found out he ended up in a coma for 6 months thanks to Tsunade and Unohana. After that, no one asked about him again. Though it did seem Aizen snoop around trying to get a little information on him, but always stop when told to. With Naruto made his way down the streets heading to a tall white tower. On his way, he stops off at Squad 2 training ground. Sitting in a tree, he watches as the squad not out searching for him and the rest of the teens train under the watchful eyes of their captain. Soifin kept yelling at her men to do the drill faster or do it better. Naruto shook his head, seeing this division was supposed to be the best at stealth, but here he was sitting in the middle of an army of assassins in a tree. Naruto looked closely at Soifin one last time, before leaving. Making his way to the tower, Naruto feels a large amount of spiritual pressure aim at him. Standing there, Naruto starts to grin like a fox. Come out, whoever you are. Naruto calls out to the person hiding. Leaping down behind him stood Soifin.
So what can I do for you? Naruto asks as he turned to face her. Soifin glares up at him. Standing at 4 feet 11 inches, she was the second shortest captain to date. Her black hair hangs in 2 tails behind her.
I want to know why you were spying on me, Soifin demands. Naruto senses 30 more men and women land down near him, making sure he could not get away. Naruto just gives Soifin his fox-like grin. I just wanted to see the best squad out there next to Squad 4. Naruto tells her as his left hand sits on the hilt of his katana in the green sheath with what dark lines that made it look like it had leaves covering it. The other one is sky blue with a silver dragon flying on it. Naruto knew blades would be drawn no matter what he said. Soifin did not say anything as she works his words over, trying to find the lie in it. What squad are you in? She asked, knowing this was the only way to catch him. Squad 4. Naruto lies since he made sure he could not be tied down to a squad since he did not want to get his Ka-chan, Ba-chan or other family members and squad mates in trouble if pulled a prank. Nevertheless, most who knew him knew if he was to be placed in a squad he would fight tooth and nail to be in Squad 4. Soifin picks up the lie and places her hand on the hilt of her sword. So you're one of the Ryoka. A shame you stopped to watch. You may have gotten away with it too if it was not for you middling kids. Captain, I think you have been watching. Scooby-Doo, where are you? A little too much, a man said behind her. Shut up. Soifin said at the man, keeping her eyes on Naruto, who just kept smiling. So do you have anything else to say before I leave, or can I go? Naruto asks, grinning even more. You're not going anywhere, Soifin says as he brings her sword all the way out, making everyone shift. Soifin, or should I say Shaolin Fan, when will you learn? You may be head of the stealth and assassin squad, but you're nowhere near the level of someone who ran a village that trained in the art of stealth and assassin since the age of 5, Naruto says as he draws the blade sheath in the leaf cover sheath. The blade itself was a dark green with an etching of a leaf on it. So let's take this somewhere else then. Naruto vanish in a shunpo. Soifin follows him, leaving behind her men who lose them. Both reappear in an open field with a forest surrounding it. Naruto just smiles at Soifin. I am surprised we are able to keep up and follow me. Not many can keep up with me. Soifin draws her full blade before charging in. Naruto block 3 strikes before Soifin vanishes. Stick the flat of his blade along his back. Naruto stops Soifin from stabbing him in the back. Naruto vanish before reappearing a few feet away. Soifin, if you wish to kill me you will need to stop acting the way you are, Naruto says as he places his left hand at the tip of his blade. The way I act has nothing with you dying, Soifin screams as she charges at Naruto again. Naruto blocks the attack, locking both in a duel for control. But it does you remind me of person that I know, Naruto says with a fox-like grin. In fact, I could say you are his clone, only female, by the way you act. Thinking you are better just because you're a captain or some other stupid reason. Both jump back. Soifin lowers her blade a little, wanting to hear a little more before she killed him. Seeing this, Naruto continues, he let anger rule his life. All he wanted was power, and in the end, it was that power that killed him. He left his home and turned on his own friends just so he could have power. However, after he reached his goal he did not return. Instead he kept on going, only wanting to kill those who had done wrong to him and his family. When in fact it was his own family's doing that led to them being killed. He had so many people wanting to help him and care for him. In fact, a few even loved him. Sadly, no matter what happened he would not listen to reason. He never found peace because of this. I do not sound like this person at all, Soifin says with a smirk before charging again. Naruto blocks her attack again, but you do. You want to kill Yoruichi-chan because she left you behind. I can see it in your eyes. If you kill her, you will hurt many other people. And those people will come after you. In the end, everyone will get hurt. Soifin looks at him before vanishing once again and reappearing behind him with her sword neck to his throat. You should not have let your guard down. Who said I did? Naruto replies as he vanishes, then reappears a few feet away looking as Soifin. Now since we are done with the warm-up, let's play. Hide Roku Cage, 6 Shadows. Naruto's sword starts glowing. The glow starts to take over Naruto. Once the glow vanishes, Naruto is standing in an orange pants and orange jacket with black sleeves. He has a red cloak with black flames running along the bottom. On his right leg above his knee was a small tool pouch to hold his gear. On his back was his other Zanpakuto. His left arm had a beaded necklace wrap around it. Hanging around his neck was a black headband with what looked like a leaf etched into the metal plate on it. Soifin starts to look him over. She could not feel any power boost that Bankai gives, so she could not figure out why his clothing changes. Roku Cage is a special Zanpakuto. It does not have a real Shikai. In fact, it goes straight to Bankai. However, it is Bankai has 2 levels. This level lets me tap into my chakra that was sealed away when I came here, and all but a few of my powers I had. I usually have Roku Cage release at all times and keep it hidden on me. However, coming here made me want to change that. I am no longer Ka-chan or Ba-chan little boy. I am now the Yellow Flash, Naruto says before vanishing in a flash of yellow. Soifin leans back out of years of training. In Naruto, hand is a kunai that is aimed at her neck. Soifin eyes grow big at the speed Naruto was able to travel at. I will be fair and only use that move one more time. Moreover, I will not go Bankai for you. Even then I do not think you can win without going Bankai yourself. Soifin scowls at him, making it sound like she was a child. Screaming, Soifin charges in with blind rage, not knowing this was what Naruto wanted her to do. Naruto swing his arm up as to cut Soifin right arm off. Soifin no think anything of it, keep charging only to yell out in pain. Looking down to where her right arm should be as a bloody stump. Throwing her left hand over trying to stop the bleeding, Soifin looks back to see her arm lying in a pool of blood on the grass, that now had turned red. I am sorry but I must get going, Naruto says as he walks past her. Stopping, Naruto reaches down and picks up her arm. Walking back over, he stops behind her. If you want I can reattach your arm. but it will not be healed to the point of using it in a real fight. Why are you doing this? Soifin asks before groaning in pain. Because I do not want to see you go down the same path my friend did. Now move your left hand so I can put this arm back, or do you want your right arm on your left hand? It would make it very useful to get the hard-to-reach place on your back, Naruto says lightly as he moves Soifin's hand. Placing the arm on Naruto makes sure it is lined up. Running his finger down the cut, Soifin watches as he reattaches her arm. Taking a clean cloth, Naruto wipes away the blood, showing only a small scar. There, that should hold till you get to Squad 4, Naruto says as he stands up. Oh, do not try following me, because if you do I will not hold back next time. And you better not if we ever cross paths. Soifin stands up and turns to see Naruto vanish once more. Walking slowing over to her sword, Soifin picks it up before vanishing. Soifin appears outside of the hospital that was built within Squad 4 compounds. It took up half the compound. Standing at 30 stories high, it was the highest squad building around. If one were to stand on top, you could see all the way to Squad 12. Walking in, she finds Captain Unohana standing talking to a nurse about a missing personnel. No body was found would lead them to believe kidnap. Unohana bows to the person she is talking to before turning to Soifin. Captain Soifin, Unohana says with a smile. What can I do for you? I need my arm heal, Soifin says, spiting. Unohana takes a closer look before smiling. If you will go to my office I will help. I need to help Tsunade-san first. I need it healed now, Soifin yells. Captain Soifin, your arm can heal on its own for 2 weeks, or I can take care of it in an hour, Unohana tells her, knowing Naruto probably place a delay healing spell in the arm to finish healing it. Fine, Soifin says, sitting down in the waiting room. Still seething that she was not being helped first, she did not notice Orihime walk by her. Orihime, for her part, was now dressed like everyone else who was not a captain or a nurse. Following Isane, she looked around in awe. Unohana hands a file to a nurse before turning to the two. Ah, Orihime-san. I hope you are feeling better, Unohana says with her scary smile. Yes, thank you, Orihime says with a shaky smile. Restu-san, is there any reason? Isane slaps her hands over Orihime's mouth before dragging her away. She laughs nervously at the looks she was getting. Orihime, for her part, was flaying her arms around. Isane would have kept backing up if she not ran into another person. Looking up, she shivers seeing the captain of Squad 12 standing there. Now Isane, if I did not know better, it looks like you are trying to hide that person there, he says, pointing at Orihime. If she is an enemy, she needs to be taken in. Isane gulps, hoping to all hope that Unohana would show up. Only something better happen. Empty field somewhere. In an empty field, a large ripple forms in the air. Slowly the rip starts to grow bigger, forming a large hole in the air. A large red fox leaps out, landing on the ground. Standing as tall as a large warhorse, the fox turns its head, looking around. Its red-orange fur move in the breeze. Behind it, 9 tails wag in the air before standing straight up. Turning its head, it seemed to be wearing a white mask of sorts on its face. Looking, it notes another rip forming. Waiting for it to form, the fox vanish, leave the next person or animal to enter the area alone. A humanoid step out of the rip. Stepping softly on the ground, it looks around. Covered in white armor, it has the form of female. On both her shoulders seem to be fins point to her head. Her left hand was claw-like, the point looking like shark teeth. Her right arm looked like it had a large shark-like tooth for a blade. A white mask like the fox covered her mouth, only it had a mouth. Straight lines like Jaws from James Bond teach. Her green eyes show brightly. The mask shows little for any nose, giving a wide opening for her eyes, showing bronze skin. Going around to the back of her head, it raced down her back into a long tail with a fin on it. On both legs were 3 gill-like slits. Her silver hair cover the top part of he mask. She was a hollow and the close to becoming a Vasto Lord. She had ran across the only no Vasto Lord alive. She had plans to devour her to grow into the next Vasto Lord. Only problem was the bloody fox seemed to be able stay 200 steps ahead of her. Looking around, the hollow notes the fox laying down at the feet of a person standing in the shadows of a tree, hiding his face. Greetings, Hollow, came the voice of a 5-year-old. The hollow does not move, keeping her eyes on the person as the person step into the light. Her eyes grow wide, wondering why a Vasto Lord would rest at the feet of human child. The Hollow gets ready to kill the child and the fox to become a Vasto Lord. I should warn you, Hollow-chan. Kyuubi-chan will not let any harm come to me. So why not lower your arm and let us talk, the boy says, keeping his cool. Talk then, the Hollow states dryly as she lowers her arm. Not talkative are we. Anyway, I'm Naruto. This here is Kyuubi-chan. Naruto say, petting the fox, who gives him a lick on the face, making him giggle. The Hollow takes a step back. In all her years she never seen anyone like him. Turning, she made to leave, no longer caring to become a Vasto Lord. I did not get your name, Hollow-chan. I also have an offer for you. Tia Harabel, the Hollow says, turning back to face Naruto. Tia, I like that name, Naruto says with a smile. Now the offer. Kyuubi-chan here is going to be staying with me since a war is coming. I am in need of a voice, if you will, and swords to make sure other Hollows do not try to become Vasto Lord. I had to deal with 8, not counting Kyuubi-chan. What is your offer? Tia says dryly, make it sound like she had no emotions. Be my voice and sword, and soon to be my eyes and ears. If you agree, I will help you become a Vasto Lord. If you become my eyes and ears, you will become an Arankar. Why should I? A. I can see it in your eyes, you will not hurt children. B. All Hollows want to become Vasto Lord. C. I would like to see what you would look like if you were human. And D. You look cute like that now. I bet as a Vasto Lord you will become beautiful, and as an Arankar drop dead gorgeous, or as the crazy shopkeeper would say, hot as heck or sexy as heck. Pig, Tia tells him. Hey, I'm not a pig. If anything, I would either be a fox or a dragon, Naruto says as smoke covers him. When the smoke vanish, he is standing in his true form. Kneeling down, Naruto pets the Kyuubi, rubbing her ears. Looking up, Naruto smiles up at Tia Harabel. So do you agree? Or am I going to need to kill you? Harabel knew Naruto and the Kyuubi could both kill her if they want to as soon as she enters the area. Even now they were letting her live. Giving Naruto a sharp nod, Naruto smiles even more before pulling out a kunai. Holding his left arm out, Naruto cuts one of the Kyuubi's tails, making her bite down on his arm. Grabbing it with his right hand, he throws it to Tia. Tia grabs it with her left hand before opening her mouth. Most think when a Hollow eats another Hollow, they eat it like any other wild animal does. Most do, but many of the upper-class Hollows like Tia just need to open their mouth and breath in to take in the energy. As soon as the tail vanished, Tia is covered in a bright yellow light of immense spiritual power. Soon the light turns to a sea green color before spiking to a new height. Tia for herself was in pain. She never knew change would hurt so much. She felt her fin on her shoulders start to withdraw into her armor. Next was her right arm. The sword also vanish into her arm, leave another claw-like hand. Next on both arms, fin-like blades start to form halfway between the elbow and the rest. Her gill-like marks on her legs heal over, leaving them white legs. They move to the pace behind her ears if she had any. Her mask change as will. Her chin lost the point it first had. Next her teeth on the mask gain points, giving her more of a shark-like feel. Her chest plait also change, giving her more of a female form, filling out more. Her tail remained the same, other than it grew a little long, almost now dragging on the ground when she stood straight up. Naruto watches and waiting to see what would happen. He also knew time was running out. Every captain would be running this way. And if any of them saw this, he would be killed and his family would lose all the honor they had gained. As the light dies down, Naruto almost goes flying back from a nosebleed. Yep, she was going to be one heck of a bombshell as an Arankar. With a large blush on his face, he could hear the Kyuubi yipping at him. Glaring at her, Naruto turns back to Tia. Tia looks at him before dropping to one knee, place her left arm on her left leg, her right arm out on the ground with her hand in a fist. She bow her head in respect, making Naruto blush even more. Naruto does the one thing Tia did not expect him to do. He grabs her left hand, pulling her to her feet. Still looking up at him, Tia would blush if she could. Naruto-sama, Harabel says with a stutter, making Naruto back up, seeing a double image. Standing right next to Tia was his first wife. Shaking his head, he placed that in the back of his mind to work on later. Tia-chan, I need you to leave now. Return to Hueco Mundo. I will contact you within 2 weeks. If any Shinigami show up, report to me at once. I am going to implant what you need to know to contact me and how I will contact you, Naruto tells her as he places his hand on her forehead, making blush even more if she could. Not she would say it, even under death, she found Naruto to be every handsome in his own way. The whisker marks gave him a ferial look, and with his power she knew at once he was the alpha male or fox if you ask the Kyuubi. Tia closes her eyes as Naruto forced the information into her mind. Once she had learned it, Naruto turns her around whispering in her ear. Go now or there will be trouble for the both of us. Tia nods her head before leaving the same way the Kyuubi came. Naruto looked to see the Kyuubi is regrown the tail he cut off. Walking over to her, Naruto changes back into his 5-year-old form. Climbing onto her back, Naruto grabs onto the fur and skin of the Kyuubi's neck. Looking back at him, the Kyuubi leaps away after getting a nod. The end. Thank you for watching, guys.